Bruce Bannister is a part of the problem. 803 734 3138. Try to be nice. 803 734 3138. One more time. 803 734 3138. One more problem. Ross Turner. 803-202-6148. That's 803-202-6148. We have a complete list, in case you didn't get it. Maybe you left your cell phone in the car. You can get it at this tent right here that I'm pointing at. Is it the blue one or the tan one?
Both.
Both. Get a copy. Make it easy for everybody. Has their numbers, because that's what it's going to come down to, folks. All right, next up. Believe it or not, do we have anybody here that homeschools, that would like to homeschool? It's astounding, maybe not, that homeschooling is now a target. So let's hear about the latest on that. Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Patterson.
House Bill 3478, otherwise known as the homeschool bill. Many of us have heard of this so-called homeschool bill. Many of you may not have any idea what it means. Or maybe you've looked at it and you're wondering, what are all these options about inside of this bill? South Carolina has 3 options for those who choose to home educate their children. Option 1. You go through the school system. In essence, you are public schooling at home. Option 2, you go through an organization called SCAES, South Carolina Home Educators Association. It is through them that you do your testing and you're held accountable. They register through the South Carolina Independent Schools Association. Then you come to option 3. Option 3, and this is what over 80% of South Carolina's home educators choose. And that is, we have independent accountability groups. Groups throughout the state that we are members of, that we are held accountable by, with things such as attendance records, progress reports, and the things that we need to turn in. House Bill 3478 will do away with option 3 altogether, leaving only option 1 and 2. In essence, only option 2, which will increase the cost to register in order to homeschool in this state tenfold. A cost that many cannot afford. Many are single income workers, so they can stay at home and educate their children. They can't afford that cost. And in essence, what this will eventually lead to is doing away with option 2. And we'll go back under the rule of the public school system. Their goal in our government is not option 1, 2, or 3. Their goal is no option, except the option that they want you to have. 4 of the House members put their name on this bill. But due to an unanticipated response, all but the original sponsors have withdrawn their name from the bill. You see, these men and women have said that we as parents cannot be responsible enough to care for our children without the interference of government. The government must stick its head in our business, or we will, according to these representatives, abuse our children. There are those in our state, in our state house and Senate, even though their name was not on that bill, that they are for this bill. We know you're out there. There are also those in Columbia who we have dealt with that have stood with us and will stand with us. They fought for the parents' rights and the liberty over your children. And I told these men and women on Thursday, if you will stand and you will fight for us, you will fight for what is right, you will fight for liberty, and you will fight for the Constitution of the United States of America, we will stand with you. We will not send you out there alone to fight this fight. That if you will stand for what is right and what is constitutional, not what is pragmatic and what is politically expedient, you will have us to stand behind you. But if you don't, you will have us to stand against you. You see, the right, or shall I say the duty of the parent to educate their children, is not a right that the state grants. But rather than the state granting this right, this jurisdiction and this right is a right given to us by the sovereign and holy God of the universe, not the state. They must understand, these children are mine. They are not wards of this state. There are but two ways we will lose this. One, if we become a derelict and allow it to go away or hand it over. Two, we stand by and let it be usurped from us. I will stand for neither one of these. I will not be a derelict father and hand over the jurisdiction over my children to the government. Nor will I stand by idly while they take it. That is why I am here in this fight today. For years I have sat out here in these rallies and these crowds. I've brought my family alongside. All 6 of my children and my wife were out here this morning with me, so they could see. But when they attacked and when they assaulted us, I was brought to the front lines of this battle. And on the front lines, fight I will. That's right, brother. On Thursday, many of us gathered and gave speeches at the steps of the State House. Behind me there was a statue of one of the most famous homeschoolers in our nation's history, General of the Continental Army and first President of these United States of America, George Washington. Not a man that was easily defeated. He was a man of integrity and principle. He was a man that led his men, many barefoot, to march through the snows of winter and cross the icy waters to fight a British army that was far superior. He was a man of integrity, a man of principle. The odds were against him, yet he fought, and his men fought with him. As I mentioned Thursday, I will fight, and I will do so until there is no longer a breath of fight in my body. Right. Yeah. You see, we stand together, and we stand together now. Or we run, we hide, and we hope. I say we fight. Make no mistake about it. The battle is not looming on the home educators and parents of this state. The battle is not in the future. Home educators and parents of South Carolina. We were assaulted on February 5th by Representative Doug Brannon. The shot has been fired, and the battle is on. The fight is now. It has been said, you may choose. You may choose to fight. And you may choose not to fight. You have that right. But from experience of tyranny over the course of history, you will most likely look back and wish with all of your heart that you had fought in the fight while the fight was at hand. It has been said by our all-powerful leader that we tend to cling to our guns and our Bibles. Yeah, man, that's true. But as true as that is, if they think I cling to my guns, if they think I cling to my Bible, wait till they see me cling to my children. You must realize, we must realize, home education is not in the bubble. All 4 of these main issues that are being discussed here today, they all relate. We all mixed in together. We can't hide in our homeschool bubble and ignore these battles. We could do that. But if we do, through Obamacare, our children will eventually be registered via medical necessary records. Through the NDAA, we will run the risk of being hauled off as terrorists for the views we teach our children. Without the Second Amendment, all three of these will go unprotected and will eventually falter. And without educational freedom, the other three will simply be taught out of existence. Regardless of where our passions are, or why we are up here, or why we are here today, we are in this together. Together for liberty. Together as free men for a free future.
That's right.
He's so right. There was a news story this week, it's been going on for a long time, involving a German couple who came to this country to escape what was happening to them in Germany, which was facing criminal penalties for homeschooling their children. The position of our federal government, as expressed by our wonderful Attorney General Eric Holder, the position of our federal government is you don't have a right to homeschool your children. Look it up. It's here, it's now. Chad is right.